It's New Things Day, and we're trying something different here. I got this chair. Figure get a little more comfortable, maybe get a little more weird with it, because nothing's weirder than this. Right? Oh well. Books and books today. That's it. That's all I got. Although I did have to buy a new water bottle, because I use reusable water bottles, because I care about this environment. And this one is much more feminine than the other one. It has these sweet little feathers on it. It works. And it's wide mouth. I don't know if I like it though. I can drink water too fast and then it spills down my face. Comics first. I got 8 books this week. All Marvel, as if I'm some sort of fanboy. But I'm not on any of the books DC put out this week, so not my fault. Deadpool vs. Gambit number 4. It's been a fun series. Most of the Deadpools are. Most of the Deadpool minis are. Hyperion number 6. I've been enjoying this series as well. Like I said, it's a book that I was not planning on getting, and it's almost a refreshing breath of air with that story. Or it's just me loving Superman and it being a version of Superman that doesn't wear jeans. Although I'm pretty sure Hyperion had jeans on at one point. Love this cover. Tokyo Ghost number 10. Believe this is the last issue. This cover is phenomenal. I absolutely adore this cover. I don't know why anybody would take the other cover. If you had the choice, why would you take the other cover over this cover? International Iron Man number 6. For some reason, we've been trying to figure out who Tony's parents are for, let's call it, 26 years now. I think it started in the Iron Man series that the Mandarin was in. Started at one point there. It was like the secret identity or something of Tony Stark. But we're still working on it, I think. I don't know. I'm pumped for Infamous Iron Man. That's what I'm waiting for when Doom is Iron Man. After taking $7.99 from me last week, they decided to take another $3.99 from me this week, but I do not mind. Power Rangers number 6. This book could come out weekly, and I'd be happy paying the money. I'd be happy reading it. I love this book. The nostalgia is so thick, I get stuck like one of those rat traps that it's just the gunk, and then they get stuck and they slowly just die. I guess there's no bright way to take that. There was nowhere to go but dark. I don't want to die with this book, but if it came out weekly, I'd read it. Long way to go for that point. Thunderbolts number 4. We have Thunderbolts vs. Squadron Supreme. I'm not sure if I care. I'm really only reading this because it has characters from the original Thunderbolts series that I loved. I don't know if the story's that great. I just know I'm loving seeing these characters because it's the only place you see them. And nope, not lastly. I lied. Uncanny Avengers 13, Civil War II crossover. And yes, that is Cable holding Cap's shield, which me as a lover, I say that very proudly, of 90s Cable and X-Force books, makes me just love what's going to happen in this. And I'm excited. I am ready to roll. This may be the first one I read. And lastly, but in terms of the book, second to lastly, Howard the Duck 10. I like it a lot. I'm bummed to see an ending, although I wish it could have kept the same feel that it had before it renumbered. Once it renumbered, it just had a different feel to it. I don't know if there were different mandates or what, but it's still fun. It's still a good book. It still has, continuity there. There's still some meat, some shit to bite into. Oh, nobody wants to bite that. Why did I have to go there? It's not the term I wanted to use at all. Moving forward. I don't know if I showed these books. I may have. I don't know. Bear with me. Most of them are paperbacks. I'm starting to lose track of which ones I've shown because these ones actually made it to a shelf, but I don't think I've shown them yet. So if I have, just leave me alone. I'm a human. I'm a human being. I make mistakes. But if I haven't, enjoy. First up is Sax Rohmer's The Mask of Fu Manchu. And this has a cover price of 50 cents. It's a pyramid book paperback with a cover price of 50 cents. Playing the game, I'm going to say Publication year on this, 1967. 1967. Wow. The Adventures of Nyland Smith. I guess this is a series. All these are... Oh, no, wrong. They're all Fu Manchu books. The Insidious Dr. Fu Manchu, The Return of Dr. Fu Manchu, The Hand of Fu Manchu, The Daughter of Fu Manchu, The Mask of Fu Manchu, Bride of, Trial of, President Fu Manchu, Drums of, Island of, Shadow of. But we're talking about The Mask of, and this was printed, this is the third printing, 1966. I was close. Bringing it back strong. Coming back strong. Next we have Kim by Rudyard Kipling. A little beat up, but it's a Dell. I like these little tiny Dell editions. This has a cover price of 35 cents. So I have to say 62. 62 on this. It's not in the greatest of shape. There's actually some water damage on some of the pages. This was a Dell third printing, 1960. So is that 2 years off on both the last two? That makes up for that bomb I made the other day of the 1989 book being, I said it was 1960. Makes up for it. In my mind, it does. Now, an obscure book that I grabbed for its obscurity and its obscurity alone. This is by James P. Comer, MD, and Alvin F. Poussaint, MD, and it's the first time in paperback. And the first endorsement on it is right above it. It says, "Must be read, Bill Cosby." Well, we know he's a doctor, so we can already take his word for it that it must be read. This book is Black Child Care, because you got to raise black kids different than white kids. That's just how it's done. That's what you need to do. There's a whole book about it. And this book was $1.95 off the shelf. Off the cover price is $1.95. And Black Child Care, this can't be any later than 1970, right? I mean, maybe it's 74. That's the latest I can go. 74 is the latest I can go for Black Child Care. 1975. I'm on today. And this is crazy that this is a real book that really happened and that Dr. Cosby told us we needed to read. So, take with that what you will. Next, 2 copies of the same book, but different versions of them. I have a Pocket Books Cardinal edition, as well as a Signet double volume, and it is D.H. Lawrence's Lady Chatterley's Lover. I've never read it, I've never heard of it, but both of these, for some reason, had huge, not sticker prices, but prices that the guy at the bookstore was trying to sell them for. So I just grabbed them anyway. The Cardinal Edition pocket book is 35-cent newsstand, and the Signet double volume is 50-cent cover price. The 35-cent one, I'm going to say it's 1961. And this is from the library of Stuart Arnhem, or Arnheim. And I said 61. The year it was published is 59. This is a third printing, 1959. Killing it again. And the 50-cent one, I'm going to say 1965. This one's not in great shape. It's actually falling apart. The spine is destroyed, even though it's a paperback. This is an 8th printing, and this is from 1957. That's weird. 1957 edition for 50 cents. And a 1959 edition for 35. People lose interest, I guess. That Twilight book wasn't cover price. I don't know who that character was. That character was some hillbilly mad at Twilight. That's a very niche person. Next, we have Judith Venetia's The Ouija Board Murder by Tempo Books. I know nothing about this. Looked interesting. Paperback. Maybe for kids. I didn't look at the price. I already looked at it, though. $150, and it's 1978. I probably would have went sooner than that. So let's pretend that I didn't even say anything and missed that one. All right, now I'm thinking I went over these already. I don't know. Next, we have Joseph Conrad's Heart of Darkness and The Secret Sheriff. It's a Signet classic. Cover price on this 50 cents, 1965. A lot of water damage in this. This was published, definitely wasn't 1910. The introduction of this edition was 1950, but they're not actually telling me when this edition was published. I don't think it's 50. I think it's later than that, but there's some serious water damage on it anyway. Next, we have an autobiography, Tom Landry. Nothing really spectacular about this. I just wanted to. I like autobiographies, and Tom Landry is one of those names you kind of always hear, but if you're not a Cowboys fan or never were, maybe you're a Hank Hill fan. Tom Landry. Cover price $5.50 on this thing. 1991. Am I too early? Might be too early. I regret it already. 1990. I'm killing it today. I should just go through every one of these now, because then they'll all be right. Next is the Tetramachus collection by Philippe Van. There's a J in between an R and an N. His last name has no vowels. It's RJNDT. Regent. Philippe Van Regent. And realistically, I got this because it's Nazi fiction, and it's such a crazy time in history that I will check it out and I will read it. Next up, we have The President's Lady by Irving Stone, Doubleday hardback, no dust jacket, so no cover price on this. Published by Doubleday, 1951. This is 2 left, maybe 3 left. Next, we have hardback, The Little Wax Dolls. Nope, 1 doll, singular. The Little Wax Doll: A Tale of Modern Witchcraft by Nora Lofts. See if there's a cover price on here to see how modern this witchcraft is. No, this is a book club edition. So that means that it was probably early 70s, late 60s, 67, 68. I'm going 68 on it. And it's 60. I missed it by 8 years. If 8 years is the biggest one, and it's something like that, I'll take it. 2 left. This is Closing the Ring, the Second World War, Winston S. Churchill. And for some reason, there is a newspaper article taped to the inside of the book, possibly glued with a glue stick, and handwritten above it says, "All the world is waiting for the sunrise." Okay. This looks like it was published in 1951. There's things, I didn't see. There's things underlined in here. I'm disappointed. I didn't see that. Lastly, The Girls We Leave Behind, a terrible scientific study of American women at home. During a time in the world when women were homemakers, women didn't leave. I'm sure this is a very riveting piece of literature. Who is it written for? If you're a working man, you're living your life at home, you're not reading a book. And if you're a woman sitting at home, you don't want to read a study on how your life is. I don't know. I'll get around to it. Shocking, courageous, and sociological are 3 of the words used to describe this. It's a book club edition, 1963. That would have been a good year for it. 63. Boom. Leaving it with that. Done. There's no better way to end it than that. So, thank you for watching and putting up with my garbage. Hope you enjoy this creepy chair. Thank you for watching.